All the penalty shout aside, Arsenal didn't create lots and lots of clear-cut opportunities, but had the ball in dangerous areas often enough, I think, maybe to have won this game.
Yeah, I think the big problem is we're lacking a cutting edge, really, aren't we? With Ober out the side, I think Lacazette, I think that's 7, well, certainly well over.
So yeah, 7
games now without a goal, isn't it? You know, he's struggling badly, I think, for confidence. I think his hold-up plays, build-up plays is still very good. You know, you saw one gorgeous pass for Pepe, didn't you, in the first half that set him away. It's just a bit frustrating. It still feels like we are making progress in the right areas. Defensively, we look a lot sounder, and you know, I know we've conceded another late goal, but I think there are tangible signs of progress. It's just frustrating because it's the draws that are killing us this season. You know, if we'd lost half of those games or won half of those games, we'd be what? I think 8 or 9 points better off this season. We'd be much closer to the top 4.
We had 1 or 2 emails in over the course of the game about injuries and suspensions. Obviously, the suspension is about Auburn, the fact that he's missing today, missing Chelsea, and missing the cup game next Monday. Also got emails about possible transfers, and when you roll that back to the injuries and the situation we've got at full-backs here, is our squad just a little bit too thin at the moment? We had Mustafi in today because Socrates was ill. Hector was on the bench, but maybe not 100%. Same with Rob Holding. We've got Tierney out, Kolasinac out. And when they start to come thick and fast, as they do at this time of year, midweek weekend, just coming out of the Christmas and New Year period, even though we have got a break in sort of early mid-February, it's just beginning to squeeze our squad, these fixtures, maybe.
I think it's really tough, especially when you think we've got to go to Stamford Bridge on Tuesday. You know, that's really tight. And I mean, I thought Saka was excellent.
I thought he was excellent. I thought he was probably my man of the match.
Yeah, I thought him and Torreira were really good, I thought. But I mean, it's just when you look at that back four and you think when we've got if we
how many play when
probably David Luiz is probably the only one. You know, and you know that's not criticism of the others, but it's just not our first choice back four. And you know, the thing when you've got a consistent back four is obviously build relationships, people learn how to play. We'll get a lot tighter defensively. I think Mikel Arteta's, like I said, has worked pretty extensively on our defence, and you can see the improvements we're making in that area. But it's just very difficult when you've got injuries and suspensions like we do.
No doubt about that, and it's maybe affected us today with that makeshift backline. In the end, we concede late on once more. 3 points has dissolved into 1, but still we believe we're moving in the right direction. More analysis and social media reaction to come, of course, from Reece, who's now raced back down to our Arsenal Nation studio for Anne-Marie, and first of all, Nick. Full time here, it's finished. Arsenal 1, Sheffield United 1.
Thank you very much, fellas. Reece and Anne-Marie are with me here in the studio, and palpable disappointment, it has to be said, guys. General feeling from that, Reece?
Yeah, disappointed. But, you know, as I said in commentary, confidence is a fragile thing. And, you know, Arsenal, we know we're in a transitional phase at the moment, and you can see the confidence ebbing away as the game progressed. At 1-0, you're always waiting for the inevitable to happen, and unfortunately it did. And, yeah, we weren't at our best today, and I think Sheffield United contributed to that. I think they played well. I think, you know, in the first half in particular, they were difficult to contain. But yeah, it's just a sucker punch, isn't it? You know, to concede so late, it's kind of just deflating, really.
Yeah, I was saying to you, Anne-Marie, during that second half, it just felt like the kind of game where, like, if we didn't get a second goal and put it to bed, they're going to get a chance and score, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you did say that to me, and I agreed with you, and you're right, it did actually happen. We were saying we noticed the intensity started to drop off. I don't know if you saw that as well, Reece. Some of the 1 or 2 players just weren't pressing as they were in the first half, and you could see gaps were being created. There were some tired legs out there, and it totally knocked the wind out of the crowd when that goal went in, because there was such great build-up, because some of the opportunities in the second half were absolutely fantastic, and then all of a sudden, like you said, I think sucker punch is a great way to describe it, Reece, because it just literally sucked all the wind out of the Emirates, and, you know, we are where we are now.
Yeah, and lots of people on social media obviously rightfully disappointed because they wanted the 3 points, they wanted the win. Felt like we did enough to get the win, but this tweet, I think, sums up the feeling of everybody. VAR and deflections. Deflections have been the bane of our life lately, and VAR again is the talking point, Reece. Penalty for you with Pepe?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what constitutes a penalty if that's not givable. You know, Jack O'Connell hangs a leg out, Nicola Pepe cuts inside. there's contact, he goes over. That for me, it's a penalty. Again, I'm obviously going to favour Arsenal, but if that was the reverse, Sheffield United would be exactly the same. They'd be, Chris Wilder would be going loopy on the touchline if that's not given. And this is the thing that frustrates the life out of me. It's those inconsistencies. Why is that not a penalty? Why is that not being looked at properly? Why is Mike Dean not going over to the monitor and double checking it? Why is he letting Stockley Park make that decision when I think most people inside the Emirates would have given that as a penalty? And it just increases the frustration around the whole VAR saga.
Especially because in the run-up to this weekend's fixtures, there was a story that the referees, Premier League referees, have been told if there's any decisions, go and have a look at the monitor. And yet we've seen it again. The monitor's there, nobody's looking at it.
Is it lazy? Is it lazy from the officials? Is it like not wanting to make that key decision? Because you've effectively taken all the autonomy away from a referee by allowing VAR to take centre stage. They can go, do you know what? I'm not sure. Let someone else deal with it.
Yeah.
These are professionals. Referees are professionals. So, again, I don't think VAR is designed to take the decision-making away from the referee on the pitch. Why have him otherwise? Why not just referee games remotely from now on?
Yeah.
Just have someone running around in the middle and going, I'm not quite sure, have a look. Yeah, exactly. Why not?
That's what it will be.
It's frustrating. I'm frustrated, as you're probably sensing. But the reality is there needs to be consistency. And if the monitor's there, use it.
Yeah.
Grow a set and go and check it.
Well, one of the things we spoke about in the pre-match was Arsenal running out of steam, and we may have seen this yet again. This tweet kind of thinks that. We've got one here that says, shame to concede so late on again. Arsenal players seem to be gassed out, but the football is much more promising under Arteta. Yeah, Anne-Marie, we mentioned it in pre-match, didn't we? We've seen time and time again under Arteta because he's asking for some demanding pressing football. But you called it again halfway through the second half. The players were sitting off and we were bitten.
Yeah, absolutely right. You could see, again, as I said earlier, one or two players they run and then they stop and you just think they don't have the energy in their legs anymore. And there was a couple of times I was saying to you, wasn't I? I was like, when Arsenal were looking for a scoring opportunity, there'd only be two Arsenal players up front and everyone else was back at the halfway line. I was going, come on, you guys got to move forward. And they weren't. They were just walking along. And I think they ran out of steam. And I think that's down to training, and I think that's coming to bite them. Maybe the previous manager wasn't so strong and intense in terms of building up their intensity and keeping their energy levels, and that's now starting to bite. But the one person who seemed to keep that energy level was Martinelli. He did not, and Torreira as well. Those two did not stop moving. They were moving all the time, and then certain others were kind of just dropping away, and it cost us.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Martinelli and Saka, two bright spots very much in the Arsenal team today. Lots of love for them on social media. Paddy saying Saka is having a great game, giving it 100% on the pitch. This lad has a great future at the Arsenal. Simon says a reminder that Bukayo Saka is 18 and a left winger by trade. Been superb at left back again, Arsenal's best player so far. And Daniel saying it's somewhat funny that the best Arsenal players today have been two 18-year-olds that we have on the left-hand side. We tend to worry too much about the youngsters, but they keep repaying the faith the manager puts in them. Saka and Martinelli have been really great so far. Again, you mentioned that at half-time, didn't you? In fact, I think you even said that exact phrase, two 18-year-olds.
Yeah, absolutely. It was lovely to see two 18-year-olds who are just embracing the game and showing us what their strengths are and what they're capable of, creating a goal and scoring a goal. And that tweet is absolutely right. We've been so worried about young people. It's too early to throw them in. But what we're all talking about is, like, if you get an opportunity, you take it. You don't kind of shirk at it. And these two were absolutely fantastic today.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, what did you make of Martinelli today? Because a lot of what we were talking about in pre-match, Reece, was that Aubameyang's out, what are we going to do? Is somebody going to be able to fill his boots? And today, I think Martinelli gave a really, really good account of himself, and he's put himself in the box seat.
Yeah, he worked tirelessly, and I think what's evident about how Mikel Arteta wants to play is his high press, high energy, and Martinelli has that in an abundance. And he has an ability, an innate ability to turn up in the right place. The goals he's scored this season, he's been in the right place at the right time, and it's a great bit of play by Saka, and he couldn't really miss, could he, from 2 yards out? But he had to be there, and some of the runs he was making open play that may not have been picked up on the monitor, but he's making runs from 30, 40 yards from one corner, 18-yard box to the other to try and get ahead of his man, to try and get into something. Arsenal's final ball was poor in essence in the second half. But yeah, I think Martinelli has proven time and time again when he's been given an opportunity this season, be that in the Cup or the Europa League or now in the Premier League, that he's more than capable of playing at this level, which is why Arsenal brought him to the club in the first place, and hopefully he's given his chance to shine.
Well, a big frustration is the fact that Arsenal haven't been able to put games to bed. We've seen it time and time again this season, and today is another day that it's happened yet again. We can see here Nancy need to be able to finish off teams, man. That's the one criticism I have so far of Arteta's Arsenal. But is that really Arteta's Arsenal? It's been like that for a little while now, hasn't it, Reece? We haven't been able to put teams to bed when really we should do.
Yeah, again, it comes back to confidence. You know, Arsenal at their free-flowing best, you know, you put 3 or 4 past Sheffield United, but we're not at that stage yet. We're building. We're kind of, you know, coming out of what was a pretty toxic time a couple of months ago. You know, we're trying to get the feel-good factor in. I think Mikel Arteta is doing that. You know, but it's a process. He has to go through a process, and you know, you're missing your top goal scorer in Oba. You know, Lacazette's going through a bit of a barren spell. I think he didn't look himself today. I don't know whether it was the pressure of being captain, but again, he wasn't his usual energetic self. And I think the players will be feeling the pressure immensely. And I think they know that they're in a bit of a fight at the moment, trying to get back into form, trying to play their way back into form. Yeah, I think it will come in time. It's just a case of being patient, and it's very difficult being patient as an Arsenal fan.
Some fans out there were not patient.
No, exactly
they weren't
right.
patient
but
at all.
You know, I've seen enough in the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks to suggest that things are moving in the right direction, and those half chances will turn into good chances, and those good chances will turn into goals. I don't doubt that, but we just need to keep the faith a little bit. I know it's frustrating, but you know, we haven't lost, which is good, and we go again on Tuesday. You know, so it's.
We have to think about the fitness as well. As we said in the pre-match, Mikel Arteta's like trying to get those players fit enough to be able to press for the full 90. Right, let's have a look at the Premier League results from the other matches that happened today. We could see there Watford Spurs 0-0. We finished 1-1. A big surprise there is Manchester City only managing the draw against Crystal Palace. Palace were leading for most of that game as well. Man City managed to make it 2-1. 2 goals in between the 80th and 90th minute, but then an own goal from Fernandinho turned it back on its head, I guess. 2-2. Good result for Palace.
Leicester will be really happy with that result.
Yeah, very much so, Leicester fans. And then one of the games you picked out earlier at Amory was Norwich against Bournemouth. Norwich still bottom of the table, but now within touching distance. Yeah,
I think I've been on a good run today. I have to say, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I thought Norwich had it in the bag, and Bournemouth, I'm sorry to say, are in real trouble.
Yeah,
now.
they're
really
toiling
are.
massively at the
Do you
moment.
think Eddie Howe's fearing for his job down there?
I think he's got enough credit in the bank, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But you know, it's one of those ones. He's Mr. Bournemouth, isn't he?
Yeah.
But sometimes you can get too comfortable, and you know they're in a real poor vein of form. And I tell you, the bottom game, I would have paid money not to watch West Ham and Everton. That would have been pretty tedious, I would imagine, and one I would suggest as such.
And the other result that I just wanted to pick out there is that Southampton were 2 up against Wolves, and Wolves turned it around 3-2. That at home as well. That must be devastating for the Saints. Back to matters here at the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal. One-word sign-off for today from you both, please. Who wants to go first on that? Anne-Marie?
Oh, thank you. I don't know. I was trying to think of something earlier. I don't know how to describe it. I'm going to go with progress.
Okay. I thought that was more positive than I thought.
Yeah. Let's, progress.
Reece?
Deflation.
Right, so two ends of the spectrum a little bit.
I think it sums up. Progressive deflation. Perfect.
Just double barrel it. Double barrel it and it's fine. Right, Reece, Anne-Marie, thank you both very much. I'm sure you'll be on Arsenal Nation Live again soon. And hopefully you join us again soon. In fact, our next match is coming quite quickly. Tuesday, Chelsea away, Stamford Bridge. It's a huge game. We'll be live at 7:30 on Arsenal.com. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.